I love those slow motion videos. What's up, Nitro Nation? Muggy Maniac. Just doing my, my normal studying of masters and legends like the professor right there, Mr. Adam Drake. What I like to call the Dale Earnhardt, God rest his soul. I like to call him the Dale Earnhardt of RC, especially Nitro. But anyway, man, that's one of the many reasons that I bought a Mugen, okay? Is because if I ever have an issue, I don't have to rely on, maybe somebody at the, if you're racing at the track or some Joe Generic guy, that has a Mugen, but just because he has a Mugen, doesn't mean, like, he's mastered it. Like, I have Mugens, and I'm far from mastering my Mugens, man. I've got a long way to go. I haven't had them that long. Or really, I don't think I've mastered really anything. I mean, I'm getting better, I don't like to use the term master because I'm not even at that level. Like, that guy's a master. Without a doubt. Okay? Racing, 8-scale nitro buggy chuggy, that guy's a master. You can just ask anybody that knows him or any of the pros, even guys that are spanking his ass, in the pro circuit about Adam Drake. True gentleman, man. But anyway, because just a click away, if I ever have an issue with my Mugens, there you go, man. Adam Drake is one of the very few, if not the only, especially guy of his status, that to this day, still on a consistent basis, uploads videos, teaching, sharing, helping out. I mean, that's what it's all about, I mean, not to say these other guys, don't want to help us out. Just Adam takes the time, man, and he doesn't need to, and that's what I think's cool about him. So, like I said, if I ever have an issue with my Mugen, I don't see Associated. I don't see I don't see Rifkin up there, and even when Cavalier was racing or Ongaro, I don't see. Try to search some Ongaro videos of him racing, yeah, but him teaching you or showing you other associate people, no, you're on your own. Or like I said, just take the word of, average Joe guy or whatever that has an associate, and instead of a professional, a guy that races it and knows how to tune it and knows how to, knows everything about it, Even I wish, well, actually Ryan Lutz does too. He did a lot of videos from Durango, then when he switched to Techno, and even now he's with Agama. I mean, Ryan Lutz is another guy that does a lot of videos, and that's one of the reasons I also intrigued me about buying Technos. Like I said, this is not the only reason that I bought these vehicles. Just because I knew if I ever had an issue with them, I didn't have to rely on just some, Joe Blow at the track or whoever, man. I could talk to the pro, man, the guy that races the shit and knows everything about it. You know what I'm saying? So, low C, I mean, look at the platforms and the information that's out there on them, and some of them, there isn't hardly any, except for, like I said, some, whoever, telling you what he thinks about it and what his experience, and, he's not even a pro. At least I know that I don't ever question anything that guys like him, like Adam Drake, or even Ryan Lutz, whatever they say, I just do what they say. I copy them, man. They're the pros. So anyway, I have, every time when I'm in between videos and stuff, I communicate a lot with with brothers on the side. You know who you are. There's guys that I talk to off YouTube, or behind the scenes, I should say. I'm going to do a little bit of bashing, and you guys probably know who I'm going to bash, because I want to open this, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I mean, something that I normally do anyway, but I want to kind of open it up as far as I'm going to touch on why I think Traxxas is is the worst misrepresentation of Nitro RC on the planet. And challenge anybody watching my video. I don't care if you're a subscriber, if you're a troll, whatever. Give me a legit argument on why Traxxas has even any quality. And I guarantee you, I will bury you. So you better, if you're going to open your mouth, just make sure you got facts. Like I always say, don't let your mouth write checks your ass can't cash. So either I'm going to get comments or people that are just ignorant because they have no facts behind what they're saying, or they just want me to give them a beat down. Because I'm tired of people like, I don't even recommend chat. I wouldn't buy Traxxas. You know what? I had a brother, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's well respected in Fitscale. Been around for a while. Okay, really good friends with Mr. Zaw and other Fitscale guys, not just him, tell me they wouldn't personally buy Traxxas for their children. When they told me that, I laughed. And it's true, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't, and I don't recommend it to any newbie. I'm not even going to say, well, maybe, it's not a good beginner, it's not a good first, you got to learn, that's all bullshit. You don't have to even start out on a pull start or a frickin' roto start. Why? We've all been the guinea pigs and did the testing. FYI, just so you know. And they suck, they're headaches, you'll get frustrated, and you might not even make it past that. You might just quit like a lot of people have. Okay, don't buy Traxxas. I don't recommend that. If you want a decent RTR, I suggest buy a Losi, but don't even use that piece of shit dynamite on there. That thing is garbage. Okay? Matter of fact, you can, and I'm going to touch on this too, there is so much on YouTube. I don't know, you guys in the Stone Age, some of you guys back east, yeah, I'm not stereotyping, or I don't want to sound, racist or discriminative of anything, but do you guys, and I've lived back east, I've lived in Texas, I've lived in Louisiana, I've lived all over the United States. There's just no place like home. Like Dorothy, Wizard of Oz, there's just no place like home. California, I've been everywhere. Can't beat it. Yeah, people will tell me, well, what about earthquakes? Listen, brother, okay, if you live back east, tornadoes, hailstorms, frickin' monsoons, that shit is part of your calendar, part of your season. Earthquakes aren't part of our season. Do they happen? Yeah, every once in a while, and they can be devastating, sure, and I'm not saying that at all, but you got a better chance of a 7.0 happening anytime soon, as much as you have of being successful racing a Traxxas and even in a local track, okay? And another thing about the Traxxas, is there anybody out there that would actually race a Traxxas? Or have you raced on a Traxxas on a track and told me that people praise you and said, oh man, that's awesome, what do you got? That would never happen unless everybody on that track is running Traxxas. Because nobody that has any brains in their head would ever take a Traxxas to a track. Unless you're just an idiot. Or like I said, everybody on the track or it's just a specific Traxxas only track. Because you would get your ass laughed at. They probably wouldn't even let you. They'd be, oh, hey, hold on, wait a minute. What are you doing? Oh, I want to run my Rustler. Oh, no. These are real truggies and buggies, nitros. There's no Traxxas allowed on this track, sir. Matter of fact, there's a fine for that. In some states, it's punishable by death. I'm just kidding. But no, on the serious note, okay? Traxxas doesn't even have a race team. That should be your first clue, okay? It doesn't even have a pull start or a rotor start. It's a fucking E-word that starts their nitro. Oh yeah, but I got a Traxxas, but I got rid of that motor and it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that the DNA on that vehicle is still a piece of shit. No matter how you slice it. You're putting lipstick on the pig. I've seen guys and heard of guys putting thousands of dollars into T-bags and X-Max and all that. Why? You are fucking, did you not only ride the short bus to school, did your mom drop you on your head too many times? Ignorance is, I only let people get away with ignorance for so much, but there's got to be a line. You got to draw a line in the sand somewhere. Okay, I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy. I'm not Mr. Perfect. I am none of that, and I will tell you guys over and over, I am nobody. I'm just average Joe, working class American that works his balls off, and by the way, I got to get up and, I got to get up in like 4 hours and go to work, okay? But I'm taking the time out because I care enough about nitro, and I care enough about my nitro brothers out there to help them out and to help people from making mistakes or making the same mistakes. Some guys just want to keep slamming their hand in the car door, man. Maybe you like it. I don't know. You know? But it's not going to change what I do. And I'm still going to tell you the truth. I'm still going to keep it real. I'm not going to blow smoke in anybody's ass. I could care less about subscribers. Thumbs up, thumbs down, views. Who gives a shit? Now, do I look at that stuff every day? To say that I didn't I would be lying to you. You know? And that's one thing I don't gauge about even putting up another video until I have at least 100 views, which means most of my subscribers, I don't have that many, have seen it. That way I can go to the next video and then they're not just coming into another video in the dark like, what is he talking about? You guys have already seen the video before. You've seen me run my shit. Let's talk about that and some other things. That's how I like to do it, and that's how I'm going to do it. Because there was a time where I was just loading you guys up with videos. And I know you guys like watching my videos, and I know, you know, for those of you that just like to be entertained, whatever, if I entertain you, whatever you can get out of it. But those people too, the ones that aren't serious about nitro, and only nitro, no E-word, no freaking crawlers, no, you know, I guess boats are okay as long as it's got a nitro motor, but this channel is a 8-scale chuggy, buggy, muggy channel, that's it. Not even monster trucks. Yeah, they're nitro, but again, you know, how many times do you guys that have monster trucks got to continue to break shit and continue to just go in circles like a dog chasing his tail? Move on. Okay, you experienced it. You know, stop punishing yourself and enjoy the real world of 8-scale nitro. Truggies and buggies. That's it, people. Period. Fuck monster trucks. They're collectibles. They're nostalgic. The Savages, sure. Even the XTM. There's going to be a point where I love that thing, man. It's hard for me not to run it, so I get it. But they don't make them no more, man. I mean, it survived for the first time in a long time. It survived the onslaught of that LRP .32. The MM I call it, the mildly modded .32. And it's not even, man, that motor's going to get better. Okay, it doesn't even have a gallon through it yet, let alone 2 gallons. So I'm going to continue, I'm going to run it again. The next video you see, we're going to run the Muggy again. So which means I got to go through the Muggy, which is what I'm doing. Go through, do my inspection like I always do, check everything. I'm checking my diffs, checking, you know, everything on this thing, man, because, you know, it held up. But, you know, there's still possibilities of things, you know, war or whatever. So far, so good. I've got the rear end off. You know, very unique gearbox, man. Check this thing out. What I do like about it, I mean, it's not the best quality, but if you look at it, even the bottom of the gearbox is open. See the diff? The diff is inside of there, so it's even housed by another housing, so it's pretty protected. Like I said, if the internals is not the best quality, and then the way it's set up, it's not your normal spider gears. They're kind of a vertical spider gear compared to the spider gears that are usually on their side. If you've ever seen the inside of an XTM gearbox, they're vertical, which means the gears are up and down. They're not on the side. They don't rotate like normal spider gears. They rotate this way. They're trippy. But it held up, man. I mean, I felt it. Checked it out. I mean, I've got 50,000 and it's, you know, it's still... Where's my little, oh, here it is. Let me check something real quick, people. So anyway, like I was saying, you know, I challenge people, man. Please but make sure that you bring some facts. Don't just come and talk tracks of shit when you don't got facts, because you'll get a beat down by the Muggy. So I don't think anybody has the balls to come. Well, maybe not. I won't say that. But I challenge anybody that owns a Traxxas. I'm trying to understand. I talked to one of my Nitro brothers. He knows who he is. He has 13 fucking Traxxases. Why? Wasn't one enough punishment? And I don't. That's why I'm trying to. I mean, I own Traxxases, but back 30 years ago when they were actually decent quality. Okay, they're garbage now, and they were not that good back then. So I can attest for that. I had a chance to get a taste of Traxxas when they actually were, you know, quality. Now they've cut so much corners. I know guys that work for them. The plastics are the worst. Everybody breaks those things. And this is over the last 5 or 6 years, because even prior to that, the Traxxases weren't they were okay. But over the last 5 or 6 years, you know, I've done my research and talked to a lot of people, and Traxxases have just, they're so big and they're such a multi-billion-dollar company, they're like giving you the middle finger, like, fuck you, excuse my language. You're hooked. You're sold and stuck on Traxxas and don't know any better. The cancer is already set in. The Traxxas cancer, it's in your bones. You're gonna die of Traxxas death, you know, unless you get out. And there is a cure for it. Okay, it's called Next Level Platform Quality. That's the cure. Okay, but they know that, so they just keep. Of course, the hobby shop's got all the parts. People tell me that. I mean, come on. There isn't anything I haven't heard. Okay? And it's not even an argument. Of course there's tons of parts. There's more parts available to Traxxas than anywhere. You can go down to your hobby shop, you're set. Because you're going to need those parts. Over and over and over. And Traxxas is just taking your money, man. And smiling all the way to the bank. And you fools that own Traxxas still continue to buy into them. You guys you're brainwashed, man. And it's sad. I deter people from Traxxas, you know, and I thought about it in the nitro service that I got going, of not even wanting to work on Traxxas, because I don't want to work on a Traxxas. It's not worth working on it. But I use the opportunity just to kind of bait them in to where I can give them the reality check and tell them why this thing is a piece of shit and point it out and talk them out of it, hopefully. Doesn't always work, because Traxxas are designed for people that are lazy. You don't have to do nothing to it. You know? It's a piece of shit, it's a piece of shit. You can't make it any more of a piece of shit. You can't make, you know, a piece of shit any better. I mean, you can't make anything out of it. You know? So anyway, so I checked my diffs. Hold one side. Turn. I might open them up and re-grease the inside, maybe. And then I have it apart. But it's still, it's getting there. I'd say about one more good brap session, and I'm going to pull it apart and redo the diff grease. I'd say depending on what size motor, modded, I mean, there's a lot of variations. You just feel. When you feel, I mean, this is 50K. When you know what 50K feels like when you first put it in, and you'll feel when it starts to get loose. So I'm going to do one more brap session with the .32 in the Muggy again. Who knows when? Hopefully this weekend, because we're having a 3-day weekend. I might have to work Saturday, but hopefully I have Saturday off. But if not, well, I'm going to run it again this weekend. And after that, I'm going to tear the diffs apart. I'm going to run 60K in it and see what that does. I've never ran 60K in my front or rear diffs on anything. So, but yeah, that's a XTM Traxxas gearbox. You know, it's not a bad design, just the way the spider gears are in there, that's the weakness. And I'm surprised that the LRP didn't destroy the gearboxes yet. So anyway, so that's what's going on with that. What I like to do when I'm cleaning my shit, obviously, you guys know I do the bare essentials. Take out the tank, take out the motor, clean them, clean the fuel lines out, clean the pipe, take the pipe, clean it out. And the only thing I've got clean in the rear end so far is all the hardware. I do the old, trust me, man, this is the easiest, simplest way to do it if you don't have a lot of time. Microwave your shit, simple green, you know, don't go crazy and, you know, causing, you know, a glass like this or a container of simple green, no more than 2 minutes. It's hot enough, depending on your microwave. Mine's a 1,000-watt microwave, so it's a little quicker. So anyway, heat it up, get it nice and hot. I use this, or you can use any kind of, if you have one of these or whatever, you can just drop it in if you don't have anything. But this is easier because that way you can get all the dirt, separate the dirt. So once the dirt comes off of the shit, it doesn't, you know, your hardware or whatever's in here doesn't just land on it. This is actually, like I said, my daughter gave this to me. She's a tea person, and if she knew I was using, this is for tea, if she knows that I was using this for my parts, she'd kill me. But anyway, she probably will watch this video. She's going to call me now. Dad, I seen your video, because she said she's been watching them. I forgot. Oops. Well, honey, you know Dad's getting good use out of it. And I can still use it for tea. You just got to clean it really good. But anyway, Once I do that, I don't have to really scrub anything. All the shit comes off of it. And then I just spray it really good with silicone. Silicone it really good. And we're good for now. But that's just the hardware from the rear. But I still got to take the bearings out of here and take the rest of this part out. That's the only thing I'll take out is the bearings and the hubs. And then these arms, the way they are, like this, without the bearings and hubs in here. And this outer drive part, just the plastic, I'll put it in my bigger container and the same thing. Put it in scalding hot simple green 50-50 mix, and it'll just lift all the shit off of there. And I might scrub it a little bit. This, I won't do that. This, I'm going to just hand clean this. Simple green, maybe a little rubbing alcohol, toothbrush, lightly, just get all the dirt off of it. Re-oil, re-grease it. Like I said, I might split it open and put some grease. Re-grease the inside of the gears here. Not the actual diff, you know, the bevel gears and shit. But anyway, shocks are done. My shocks are money. Check them off, took them off, checked them. I got like a half rebound on them. Still feel nice and smooth. So those are good. But anyway, that's what's going on with the Muggy. It survived, man. Round one, the Muggy and the LRP .32 went toe-to-toe, duked it out. Muggy fought back. You know, the LRP threw some punches, threw some uppercuts, right hooks. You know, Muggy got a little sideways, you know, got a little rocked, you know, but she held up, man. So it's all good. So we will do another one. I don't know. I still haven't heard anybody. I'm looking for a 2-speed pinion bell housing for this. 12-17. Anybody finds one, let me know. Oh, by the way, Mr. Woogie, still haven't found anything on that button head for your .28. You might just be able to put any .28 button head on there. Preferably, I would make sure that it's Italian. I mean, you might be able to. I'll see if I can find another Pico or who else. You know, you might even be able to put an Overossi button head on there if they're not too much. But it depends as long as the diameter's got to be the same. See, I don't know a lot about those LRP .28s. Okay? I just have, you know, the baddest of them all, which is the LRP .32 Spec 4. What do we have here, people? Well, we got Mr. Reds over there. Okay? He's, you know, kind of busy. You know, he's in between, you know, getting ready to brap. But he didn't want to miss out on the initiation because the LRP has just been sworn in by the other Italian brothers. This would be like the equivalent of like Goodfellas or maybe The Godfather. It's like a mafia meeting. This is actually The Godfather right here. LRP .32, without a doubt, that's The Godfather. The Pico, if it was mafia type, you know, status, I would say the Pico would be his right-hand man because, you know, he's a .28. Even though he's only 7-port, he's got a lot of torque. Not as much as the Nova, but he's got a lot of torque. And as a .28, he holds his own. And, you know, they're both paisanos. But he's still the Godfather because he's the 8-port. He's the Nova. He's been here longer. He's got the best carburetor on the market, which is the only reason why they're even allowing this rice burner over here, this LRP, which is a rice burner, even allowed to be in, you know, the inner circle of the mobsters here. It's like a team, or maybe like a Teamsters meeting, okay? Because why? Because he has a heart of an Italian on him now, okay? So that's the only reason he's able to even, you know, be part of the family here. You know, because as you know, the Muggies, you know, it's all about the Italian Pisces, the family, okay? And if the .21 status-wise, the Reds, he would be like the hitman. Because he's definitely a badass .21. He's a hitman. He takes other .21s out because he's a hitman. Or, you know, he's the one that does all the dirty work. You know? .28, you know, is his right-hand man, but, you know, he does the dirty work too. But, you know, he's more of a freelancer over there, this Mr. Reds over here. And besides, he is related to Pico anyway, as you guys know or don't know. I don't think I've mentioned it to you before. He's, you know, he's part of the, you know, they got the same bloodline. Because the base blocks of reds are made by Pico. Okay? So anyway, they have officially welcomed the LRP aboard. He's got the Nova carburetor. He's got a heart of an Italian on it. Because remember, we talk about, and you've heard people say that the nitro engine is the heart of your vehicle. True. But what's the heart of the heart? So what actually makes the difference between this thing getting busy or not getting busy? Dialed in or not dialed in? Running or not running? It's the carburetor, which is the heart for the motor. So now that the LRP's officially got the Nova Rossi heart on there, strongest heart there is, freaking heart of a champion right there, okay, he is allowed to be in the inner circle and be considered, you know, he's not full-blooded. Okay, don't get that twisted, people. He's not the same bloodline. But he does have the heart on there of an Italian. He has an Italian heart on him. So he's good. Okay? So that's what this is all about here. They've got their, you know, this is their you know, part of their lung system. The pipes are the lungs, but you know, you gotta have these. Best filter, period. Not just the outer part. If you guys got Losis, sorry about your luck, because you can't run the motor saver on them, because it won't fit underneath the hood. That's the only reason Mr. Zal won't run it. He runs all these on anything that he can. He doesn't like the fact that he can't run this air filter, the motor saver, on his Truggy. He was pissed when I remember that video when he tried. He's like, damn, man, I love these things. Because he has them on his classic, his Muggy, and I think one of his MTs that he has left. But yeah, so these are the best filters. So it's a motor saver and the outerwear combined. Lowest maintenance air filter, period, and the best protection. Because you got to protect your investment, people. That's the reason the Muggy Maniac's on top of this shit, because I got to protect it. So anyway, the LRP ran good, but it's still not, it's, you know, it's going to get better. Okay, it's, you know, before that last video, before me running this, it's been sitting on my shelf, bottom dead center, all lubricated and good and everything, for almost, geez, when did I get this thing? 4 months? Maybe longer? I don't know. Maybe 6? I don't know. Sometime last year. January, February, March. Yeah, it's probably been about 6 months since I broke this in and let it, because I was going to send it and get it modified. I just wanted to focus on breaking in and getting full break-ins of the mods that I have, which is the ones that I got modded by RB mods, Rick, which is the Nova, the Pico, and the Reds. But trust me, I already got another one coming, so I'm getting another LRP, gonna get modded. I'm gonna get 2 more Nova Rossis, one I'm keeping, stock, another one I'm getting modded. So I want 2 modded Nova Rossis, 28.8s, and that OS is gonna get modded, and I think I'll be good on motors for now. My goal by the end of the year is to have 12 modified motors, and I'd like to have a stock of most of those, if I can. I know I will have the Nova, I know I will have the LRP, so I'm probably going to have to get another Pico. But I mean, if I have at least 6 modded motors, and I have stock duplicates of those same motors, I'm good. Alright, so that's what's going on there. The LRP's brapping. This thing survived. That guy that was in the video there, he comes jogging up at that place all the time. He's thinking about buying my Muggy. I said, man, the only way you could pry this thing out of my fingers is you'd have to show me $1,000 cash money. And you would still not get my motor or my pipe. Or I would sell him the radio, because it's a fly sky. I didn't pay a lot for it. So he will get a full roller, this thing, if he wants. He might be talking out his ass, and if he is, I don't care, because I'm not in a hurry to sell it. That's why I'm firm. I had somebody offer me $500-600, I think, for this thing, as a roller, the XTM Muggy. I said, hell no. You're crazy. Okay? So this thing as a roller, no, you know what? For $1,000, he would get the motor. I don't know if I'd throw on that LRP .32. I might give him, you know, something decent, you know. And I would take that $1,000, and I could buy 2 more platforms and a couple motors and get them modded. So You know, but I'm not, like I said, I don't really want to sell this thing. I put a lot into this. Sure, I can build another one, but it would just be so much work to build another one. You know, I might just hold on to it, you know. Like I said, unless somebody wants to give me $1,000, they'll get the radio, the motor, the electronics, everything, including that bump box, which is made for the XTM anyway. Because I couldn't really, I mean, I could use it with other platforms, but like I said, I cut it out and it's made for that. Oh, by the way, let me help out a couple brothers real quick, and let's kind of not get this video going too long, even though the Muggy Maniac. So that's the challenge. I'm putting that challenge out there. Any Traxxas, please help me understand why you would buy a Traxxas. What makes you buy a Traxxas? Okay, because it isn't quality. And if you think it's quality, then let me hear your argument. And you explain to me why you think it's quality. And it's not because it's race inspired, because it doesn't even race. You know? Either it's because you're lazy, because you didn't know any better, because you thought it was good, because you still think it's good. Well, let me inform you and lighten you up. You know, enlighten you as far as why it's the worst thing, biggest black in the eye cancer to RC ever. People get the false impression of nitro being Traxxas. Okay? FYI, Traxxas nitros is not even true nitro. Not even close. I don't consider it, and I never will. Yeah, I get the people. Mr. John Bodegel ran Traxxas. He didn't know any better. Don't you guys, you'll have to show you guys the video. I've shown it how many times. When he finally got his Losi 8T 4.0 truggy, that day he came back and he said, fuck Savages, fuck monster trucks, fuck Pulse. You know, you heard the story. How many times I got to tell you guys that? You know, so it's not just me, and it's not just him. There's a lot of people that know better right now, and I'm just glad that he was the one that had to, you know, take one for the boys, or, you know, take a bullet for me, because it saved me the headache. I had enough to learn with the XTM as it is, because that thing was a pull start, and I've ran rotor starts and pull starts. I've had my share, but I didn't need to do it that long, you know, to realize that this is, you know, this is a bunch of noise. I need to get real, you know, nitro. So when you guys are ready to grow up and put on your real man nitro pants, okay, and start running around your Superman underwear, your darantatans, as us Mexicans would say, or, you know, your slingshots with the superheroes on them, or not. I don't want to say superheroes. That's a bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying, okay? Take your diapers off, put on some grown-ass man pants, and step up your nitro game, okay? Get rid of the pull starts, get rid of the back starts, get the sealed back plates, motors, get a good solid platform, and step it up, okay? Because Muggies, I'm not waiting for nobody. I'm passing everybody up, okay? I'm taking shit to the next level, okay? That other people just didn't. I'm gonna define this definition of next level. I'm going to surpass others, and I'm going to be uncommonly good. I think I am already, but, you know, I'm just tooting my own horn. I don't want to sound like I'm Mr. Perfect, because I'm not. And impressive. Okay? If my tuning and I don't say I have the best videos and the best footage. And by the way, I want to apologize for that last footage, but I did take time out because I wanted to explain, you know, to the newbie guy there. You know, I get fired up when people come up to me when I'm running my shit, and, you know, they're looky-loos, like you might call them or whatever, and they're innocent bystanders, and man, they're getting it. If they even open their mouth and ask me anything, they're getting the Muggies full nitroology right there. That's why it took away a little bit from my runtime. That's why we want to do another one, another part 2 on the Muggy. As soon as we get it all cleaned up and freshened up again, get it all dialed in. I'll have it done by this weekend. And we want to do another take 2, part 2, round 2, ding ding, of LRP .32 spec 4. We might try up a different pipe. We might throw the Nova. I mean, not the Nova, but the Dynamite 053 on there, see what that does. Okay, might not do anything, might do less, you never know. I know I want to tighten up my springs. I'm only running a 3-shoe clutch on it because of the flywheel and because of the way the motor mount. By the way, look at these sexy motor mounts on that come. These are some aftermarket ones that are for the Muggy. Aren't those things sick? Do they match or what? You know the Muggy Maniac. You guys haven't noticed? Come on, people. Who do you guys think you're talking to here? You guys know I'm color coordinated. Look at that. My shit matches. You know, you don't have to call fashion emergency on me, because my shit's freaking money. You know, my shit, and more importantly, it runs as good as it looks. Even better. Same thing with that. Look, you know, we dialed that in. You know, look over here. Matching rims, you know, look at Maniacs, you know, I'm not one of the guys, you know, wearing 2 different shoes, you know, 2 different colored socks. I see guys do that. They got all these different colors and shit. They don't know how to match. Now, those are the people I want to call fashion emergency on and call the fashion police, come pick them people up. Because, man, like when I see some of those people running their shit and looking raggedy like that, I'm like, damn. It reminds me, if you guys ever seen Men in Black, remember Will Smith? They went to go investigate that chick where her husband turned out to be, get taken over by one of the aliens, remember? And they went out to her house and they had to do the flashy thingy on her. But remember Will Smith, he's looking around at the lady's house, because they live out in the middle of nowhere. And they're looking at the lady's house and he's looking at it and he's like, whoever decorated your house? Will Smith's like, damn. Like, I mean, like, damn. Like, that shit was that bad. Same thing when I see people with, you know, a pink rim and a blue rim. Different color shit that don't even match. I'm like, dang. Like, damn. You need to get a color chart. So, I don't know. That's just me. I'm anal about everything. You guys know I am. I'm OCD about a lot of stuff. So, anyway, Mr. Woogie, when your bump box, and this goes for everybody, not just Mr. Woogie, okay, this is from personal experience, when your bump box, when you're using it, it's not your bump box, long as your shit is lined up on the chassis, okay, you should be able to just bump it, boom, boom, boom. Sometimes you got to prime it a little bit, but if you're struggling to start, you can hear it turn over, but it's not firing up. It's not your bump box. Your low end needle is too rich. That's why it won't fire up. You should be able to bump, and your shit should. You ever watch Mr. Za? Do you see him? Every once in a while, when he's breaking in or something, you know, you might have to give it a little bit of gas. But most of the time, you hit that shit, boom, boom, it starts right up. It's because that shit is tuned. That shit is dialed. Now, some people like to, you know, and the one thing you want to do is you can dial in, for the most part, your tuning why it's on the box. Why not? Do you want to waste all that gas and, more importantly, burn up your fucking wheel? You know how many wheels I burned up because I used to do that? Oh, well, yeah, I'm gonna tune it once I get it running. Well, I couldn't even get it started because my low-end needle was all fucked up, or my auto, whatever. You should be able to do a bench tune on your box, okay, FYI, before you run it. Then once you run it and put it under a load, then you're going to dial it in. There's a big difference, okay? Everybody that's been around long enough, pros, whoever, that know what they're doing, do what's called a bench tune, okay? Because otherwise you're going to burn up your wheel. You're going to flood your motor. You're going to foul your plug. There's just a lot of things, you know. And I know. I used to do that shit. That's what I'm telling you guys. Okay? If you bump it and you're bumping it and it's not firing up and you're having struggle, you need to lean out your low-end needle, which means you're turning it counterclockwise. Small increments. Trust me, when you get it to a decent lean point, it should fire right up. Okay? It has nothing to do with your box. It's your low-end needle is too rich. It won't fire up, and it should fire up on your box. Okay? It's the same thing as when you're pull starting. It's the same thing. If your shit's too rich, you're going to flood it when you try to pull start. It's the same damn thing. Okay? And I used to think the opposite. Oh, my bump box, or, you know, I just need to get it tuned, and, well, you're not even going to get the damn thing started. And if you do, you're going to struggle, you're going to fuck with all the settings, and you're going to have more trouble tuning it. Okay? And also, when it's too lean, I noticed, Mr. Woogie, it won't stay idled for a very short period of time. And if it does, when you go to give it some gas, it'll quit because it's loading up too fast. And it's loading up too much because it's way too rich. You need to lean that low needle. That's the first thing you need to do. Whenever I go to start my shit and it doesn't start up right away, granted, you know, because I heat cycle my shit. Granted that it's warmed up already, I know it's my low end needle. And I'll turn it just a little, lean it out a little bit, try to start it again. No, and then I'll lean it a little bit, try to start it, boom, and every time, man, it fires right up. That's when your shit is dialed. But then I'll still do the pinch test because I want to get it even a little bit, you know, more accurate. And then more importantly is when you go fire it, when you go run it, then your adjustments should be minor. Okay? You got plenty of fuel to burn up. You got extra wheels to burn out. Go ahead, knock yourself out. You got extra batteries on the side? Make sure you do. I've wore out batteries. I've torn up wheels on my bump boxes. You know, that I didn't have to if I would have, you know, paid attention to people that were telling me, or people that I seen that that's what the deal was and how easy it was starting. Man, now my shit, that LRP, because this carburetor was already dialed in. Because remember, it was running on the stock Nova Rossi. So it was already dialed in, even though I was expecting to do to have to, you know, retune it. Not a lot, but probably have to make a little bit of adjustments. And did I? Not really. I think I leaned it out maybe 5 minutes as far as clockwise. Just 5 minutes. That's it. Pinch test, 4 seconds, died. Perfect. As soon as I go to fire it, boom, fires right up. No problem. Okay? So that's some advice. Do what you want. I'm just putting that out there. If you have a problem on your bump start and you have problems getting it fired up, it's your low end needle's too rich. If it's not firing up right away, you're running too rich. Lean it. Okay? Now if you fire it up and it fires up right away and idle's high, well, you're running too lean, rich in it. You guys will get it. I mean, it took me a while, man. It took me a couple of years to perfect tuning, you know, and know what I need to do to get it where I want it to be, or where it needs to be, or where it should be. You guys have seen my videos, man, and I can say this because if you look at my videos, look at my shit. Is it perfect? No, I'm not saying that. My shit's dialed, man. I have no problem dialing my shit in, getting a dialed tune. Granted that there's no other issues like clutch, you know, and stuff like that, because there's a lot of other things. Plugs, clutch, fuel lines, sometimes if they're not sealed, a tank might be, you know, a little air leak here and there. Clutch might be springs, you know, or clutch shoes might have, you know, got stuck or stayed open. Clutch bell might have came loose. You know, carburetor needles, and there's a lot of different things. But for the most part, as long as all those things are good, I know it's just it's how it should start, how it should run. I do the pinch test, and then that's it. The only thing I'm really messing with is high-end needle, richening it, leaning it. That's it. So anyway, another guy that I wanted to help out here is, you know, when you guys are, again, when you're looking for used shit, okay, remember, make sure the parts are easy to find. Make sure you do your homework. Do your studying. Don't just get all, you know, see a great, you know, a clean platform and it's a good deal and you just get so excited you piss on yourself, and next thing you know, you open it up when it comes to you and it's not what you thought it would be. You know, there's shit missing. It's got rust all over the place. You know, or if it's a motor, you know, it doesn't have a lot of pinch. You forgot to ask the guy, you know, how much fuel that it had. You didn't know it had 10 gallons through it already. So now the shit needs to be repinched. The sleeve needs to be rebuilt. You know what I mean? People complain all the time and bitch and moan because they're not even asking questions. They're telling the guy, I beat people up. Before I buy any of my shit, okay, they got beat up with Q&As. And if they didn't pass the Q&A, the Muggy Maniacs Q&A test, guess what? Next. How you doing, number 2? Or number 3 or number, whatever the case. I'm moving on. Because trust me, there's plenty of good deals out there. Popping up on eBay all the time, man. So if you're not computer savvy, if you're not good on the computer, if you don't even have a computer, you better get one. Because the phone only works so good. Okay? That's, your local hobby shop's not going to carry one. Craigslist, you got to go look at it. You know what I mean? Which, if it's local, that's fine. That's even better. I got my XTM Muggy. I got that on Craigslist. Like I said, Mr. Woogie, change your plugs. Don't run those plastic plugs. I only run this one on here because this is the one that closes the circuit. See? If you take this out, it doesn't work. So don't lose this. Or you can always do this, Dean's plug this one. I probably should do that too. Just Tamiya plugs are garbage. Especially if you're running a LiPo. You'll melt those things eventually. Hopefully you don't melt your whole shit. But anyway, pretty simple bump box. These connections, by the way, these on the side, that's if you want to hook it up to a car battery. That's what those plugs are. I never use them. So anyway, you can also take this out. See this here? I have a 12 volt battery. You can use this 12 volt battery and put it in there. I would even use that. It'll give you more power than your LiPo. For sure. Alright, what else do we got going on? MBX, Mugen just hanging out, just chilling, man. Buggy's anxious though. Buggy's been wagging its tail, you know, I almost forgot because it was already in the vehicle to include him in the, the swearing in of the new, new reformed, born again LRP .32 with a real carburetor on it now and some pretty clean headwork. And, I noticed, but I don't know if it has to do with the headwork that I did, the port work I did to it, or the crank work, but it has a different sound from when it was stock. So, I don't know. I think it sounds pretty cool. But I think a lot of it has to do with this pipe. Because, as we all know, this pipe is a beast. But I eventually will get an LRP. Matter of fact, I'm going to get an end bleed, but I think the pipe that I'm getting first is I got to try one of those Triton 2148s. Beast of a pipe. I even talked to Mr. Zai. He has one of those. He said it is a monster. He said it's equivalent to the Nova Rossi. It's just as good or better. I've heard some people say that it's better than the Nova 886. So anyway, that's another pipe that's going to be next on my pipe list. Plus, I need to get another 41032 because I think the 41032 will work good on a lot of other pipes other than the 9986 because the header has a lot to do with it. It's not just the pipe; it's the header. Because that 9886, this is the same as an 086 pipe. What makes this thing perform? This header. So I'm going to get me another one of those headers too. So anyway, anything else? I think I'm forgetting somebody. Somebody else asked me something. Oh yeah, so yeah, the used vehicles. Just ask tons of questions, man. The only dumb one is the one you don't answer. Tell the person to give you plenty of pictures. And make sure it has plenty of parts available. That's why I got the Techno and those, because the parts aren't hard to get. Although the Techno doesn't have as many parts available and optional aftermarket stuff as the Mugen Truggy does. Or, why am I pointing to the Muggy? The Mugen Truggy does. Okay? But this Techno doesn't need it. This shit never breaks, man. And it's not just me. I mean, I don't run my shit, off of buildings, and I haven't really tested it. I run it pretty hard. I get this bitch sideways. Okay? But I need to get it in the air. We need to get some jumping videos, and I need to really test the durability of this thing. Really pound on it. But other people that have them, they never broke it. You don't break shit on this thing. It's just built like a tank, man. So maybe that's why there isn't all these aftermarket parts for them, because you don't need them. Not that you need them for the Mugen. It's just, it enhances what's already great about the Mugen. And Associated, all Associated is a cheap ripoff of a Mugen. Do you think Associated came out? Anybody that has pillow balls other than Mugen, they didn't invent pillow balls. Mugen is the original innovator of pillow balls. And their pillow balls are still better than anybody's, including Associated. And that's the only reason Associated started doing anything, is because when they changed everything, okay, they copied Mugen. That's when they started doing better and being competitive. Before that, they weren't doing shit. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. So any of you Traxxas people, take your best shot, man. Just make sure that you don't bring a a knife to a gunfight, because you will get that ass handed to you, and you will get a serious beatdown, because Trax is garbage, and I would not freaking piss on that any of their vehicles if it was on fire. So anyway, that's all I got. I got to get back to work. Matter of fact, I got to get to bed now because I got to get up in a few hours. I did a little bit of wrenching. I'm going to finish the rest of my wrenching tomorrow. Hopefully I get it done this weekend. Anyway, that's all the Muggy Maniacs got. Peace out. Shout out to all my Nitro brothers doing their things. Guys that are at least trying to make videos. At least you guys are getting A for efforts. I just like to see the final results of your videos as far as, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. Stepping it up a little bit, and, you know, there was a lot of A pluses for effort, man, and that's what it's all about. But I would like to see, you know, you bring the end result to, you know, of your grade up, because the final grade on a lot of the videos that I've seen were not that good. Not that mine are the best videos. I'm not saying that, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a big difference when you're all sideways and shit like this. Because remember, I used to do the same thing, and I've done it before, man. So I'm no cinematographer and you know, Mr. Perfect at making videos, but you know, I've gotten better, I think. And by the way, this little stand that I use, man, this thing, 99 cents for people. Invest $1. It was a hell of a lot better than just trying to set your camera somewhere, because that shit don't work. So anyway, that's all I got, man. We got motors coming, we got pipes coming. I'm still looking for that my next platform. Not sure what it's gonna be. We got freaking motors, you know, that are you know, going next level. So everybody step up your game, man, you know. And we'll talk about that contest another time. I gotta get to bed, man, because I am freaking beat, and I gotta get up in a few hours. But anyway, I'll catch you guys on the rebound. Peace.